There is tension on the rise on the borders of Russia and Ukraine. Yes, on the rise again. This is not for the first time that Russia has border tension with Ukraine. It has been since 2014 and there is no end to this. But the Western media houses are not telling the whole story behind the rise of number of Russian troops. And today in Siachen X-File, we will look into the actual reason behind Russia-Ukraine conflict in short. Okay, till now everyone knows Russia has annexed Crimea in 2014 from Ukraine, and Russia is supporting the separatist movement in Luhansk Oblast and Donetsk Oblast of Ukraine, and US has imposed sanctions on Russia for annexing Crimea. Since then, there were a lot of ceasefire violations by both Russia and Ukraine. And due to the annexation of Crimea, the Russian President Vladimir Putin became very popular. But due to the US sanctions, Russia suffered a lot economically. On the other hand, the war-torn corrupt government of Ukraine, led by the Ukrainian oligarchs, collapsed. And with the fresh election in Ukraine, the new president along with the Russia decided to have a ceasefire agreement on 27 July 2020 after a loss of 14,000 lives and 1.5 million people displaced since 2014. The ceasefire agreement stopped the aggression between the Ukrainian military supported by the ultra-right-wing militia and pro-Russian separatists supported by the Moscow. So what changed? That Russia and Ukraine are on the verge of war again? The answer is the US election result in Jan 2021. When former US President Donald Trump failed to secure his presidency, which led for the Democratic candidate Joe Biden to be the President of the United States of America. Now the current President of the United States of America, who is highly compromised to the Communist Party of China due to his son Hunter Biden. Just go and Google Hunter Biden laptop or Hunter Biden sex tape, and it is YouTube, so we must not share this kind of pictures on this platform. So just go and check it out if you want more proof. So Joe Biden will do everything under his power to protect his son and his image, which China is exploiting. And China is forcing through the current US president to take away the world focus on Xinjiang genocide away from China. So this is where Russia as the enemy number one of United States comes into the play. So how NATO achieved it? The answer is Crimean Peninsula geography. As you can see, that Crimean Peninsula is surrounded by Black Sea and Sea of Azov. Only narrow part of the land is connected to the mainland in north. So it is not even connected with the Russian mainland, which means Crimea has its water supplies only from Ukraine. When Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, Ukraine was still supplying the water to Crimean Peninsula from the Dnipro River through the North Crimean Canal. But since 2020, Ukraine stopped the water supply to Crimea completely, thus leaving the people of Crimea waterless and the Crimeans dependent on this water supply by the North Crimean Canal, as this canal accounts nearly 87% of the water supply to the Crimean Peninsula. So now locals are forced to use the groundwater reservoirs and packaged water supply from the Russian mainland. And this act of war stopping the water supply became more stressful in 2021 when rainfall throughout the year became less than the previous year. So Russia has to take an action. So Russia, under the garb of military exercise, has started to mass troops on the Ukrainian borders to create a massive geopolitical pressure on Kyiv to release water to Crimea or face an military action by the Moscow. On the other hand, US and Ukraine are using this troop development to justify Ukraine's limited induction in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or it is properly known as NATO. And for Ukraine, the access to the sea is a crucial component for the Ukraine's geopolitical independence. Ukraine has already lost its important role as a player in the European gas supply after of Russian gas pipeline construction of Turk Stream pipeline in Black Sea and Nord Stream pipeline in Baltic Sea. And Ukraine, with the help of NATO, will go to war against Russia to ensure its national security. In conclusion, for Russia, war is inevitable because without water, Russia cannot control the geostrategic warm water port of Sevastopol in Black Sea, and permitting Ukraine to join NATO will be a big blunder, as Russia will lose its strategic depth. Once Ukraine is in NATO, the NATO forces will be just 500 km away from the Russian capital, Moscow. And for Ukraine, if Ukraine does not take tough stand against the Russian Federation and Russian-speaking Ukrainian citizens, then it will lose all its Russian-speaking territory to Russia one by one, which are mostly coastal region of the Ukraine. And this is not at all acceptable by Ukraine because it will make Ukraine a landlocked state. And for the United States, under the current president, it will be a great win for the United States company and Wall Street, as they have invested billions of dollars in China. When the entire world attention will be focused on Crimea because of Russia and Ukraine, the US company will start doing their business with China as usual. And if war happens, then Russia and Ukraine both will be the losers in this game of geopolitics, and only winners will be Wall Street and China. Thank you for watching this video on Russia-Ukraine border conflict, and do not forget to subscribe to CHNX File for such more videos. Till then, goodbye.